We'll see how it works out.
It's going to be 2 scale bearers, 2 rangers, and 2 Nyx. This is our final series of the day for EU.
This isn't quite the lineup I was expecting overall. I mean, the Ranger Nyx is very predictable at this point, considering how things have gone this evening, particularly. But Scalebearer, I mean, I was just saying last time how we basically haven't seen much of him at all, aside from we've seen him 2 individual times on Corrupted Keep. And it seemed to be a very map-specific thing. But we used to see Scalebearer all the time. Now he seems to have been thoroughly replaced by a lot of clutch earlier on. Sorlag has always been quite there, but seeing him again now, I mean, I'm expecting some good things.
It's already just trying to sort of, just the traditional, establish that distance, trade off Mega for heavy armor, but make sure you're harassing the Mega location so they don't get it for free. At the very worst, or the very best, sorry, they're going to take it and then immediately eat like 100 rocket, which will undo all of the Mega they've just taken. But Nyx versus Ranger. The question is, will we have a chance to see all of the Scalebearer? Sometimes you see a performance that is so dominant, you never really see that third option. Here comes
there's the aggressive one. Oh, he's caught against the wall, misses the mid-air, but gets the follow-up, and there we go. Jox gets taken down. Karwik with the first frag, straight into the Mega health pickup.
Doesn't quite get the spawn.
I think maybe he perhaps could have moved a little bit too close to it, maybe?
Potentially. Already Karwik with that advantage. But Jox going into Scalebearer second, saving Nyx for last.
Interesting. I mean, Nyx is very susceptible to being ball rushed.
Already. Following. I'm not sure Jox was actually expecting Karwik to follow that. And he caught him off guard with the tri-bolt.
Wow. 20 health remaining, that's a close one.
And now he's down to Nyx again. I think when he caught Jox off guard there, he was trying to use the tri-bolt to make the jump towards the heavy armor. And because of that, he didn't actually have a necessary weapon to make the quick turnaround into damage to return back. He only had a tri-bolt on guard.
Oh, he knows he's behind him.
He's expecting an invisibility, though. There it is. Oh, use the teleporter right before the rocket. So where she doesn't
wow,
want to be.
3 rockets completely missing any form of damage.
Guess any one of those could have been mid-airs, so saved by a lot of damage, using the invisibility now to try and secure the heavy, and it does manage to work out. No damage taken.
Oh, misses the rail.
Karwik's going to have to do a quick detour to get those rockets back, I think. Yeah, 7 now.
Pushing 3 minutes into this, though. A couple minutes remaining. Jox now down 2 champions. Really just trying to do that tried and true, zoning him away from the armor, but armor's not going to be up for a little while yet. Oh, there's the aggressive Ghost Walk. Accidentally shoots one of the pillars, which again is going to take a little bit of unnecessary damage. You can definitely tell when an opponent sees the Ghost Walk or is aware that it's been used. Their level of just when they're looking at the ground and peppering the floor with rockets to prevent them from coming close. They just don't do that when they haven't seen them. Oh, now rocket's not off the mark. It's gonna give Jox away. Oh, Ghost Walk, he hasn't seen him use it.
Just like that, right? Nothing to be found but great reactions. The second you take that damage, immediately pops the invincibility.
Wow, and a good choice from Karwik to sort of double back to the way Jox ran from. Jox wasn't quite ready for that option. Heavy armor already back though. Which means Mega health is soon to follow. Jox was able to secure them both last time. He's going straight back down again. And he does the same thing.
It's the awareness. You hear a rocket, you assume rocket jump. You go towards the rocket jump location. 1 minute warning though.
1 minute warning.
Now Jox needs to forego this passive gameplay.
Or he's trying to. But the defensive Ghost Walk is popped and Jox can't follow it down. Heavy armor now goes to Karwik. It's going to be a bit harder for Jox to get this frag now. He needs to take out 2 just to even things out, let alone win the round.
It's going to be a while before Karwik has an invisibility though. Jox catches him now, and that's going to be much harder, seeing he just ate a high damaging rocket for his trouble. Has no choice. He has to be aggressive, but he jumps straight into Karwik's rail, who is lying in wait through the doorway.
Definitely had to do something. You know, if he was going to continue to be passive and try and heal up after that rocket, he definitely would have ran the timer and lost some time out.
Well, it's not just taking out, definitely not a matter of just taking out Nyx, is it? You have to take out the next champion just to even things out. Karwik could have gone towards Ranger and evaded, or just gone for Scalebearer and used that raw life that he had ready to go.
Still though, Karwik not knocked off Nyx at any point during that round. So Jox is going to have to keep that in mind. Karwik has already been able to take out all 3 of his champions.
Like the awareness, as Karwik is maneuvering around the map, he's making sure that he wall jumps across the top. So if he catches someone around the corner, they're going to be ready. Speaking of not ready, only 18 damage on that super shotgun.
Very surprising to see it hit such little damage despite being shot so close.
Well, it's not as much range as it is about pellets.
Yeah.
You know, the more pellets that connect, the more damage is calculated. So if you're a smaller character, the chance of you being hit by every single pellet is actually much smaller. Whereas if you're against a giant champion, even from far ranges, you can get good damage with super shotgun. Oh, here they go.
Oh, Ghost Walk popped in defense.
They're actually both going exactly the same way, but Karwik opting to go towards heavy armor first, and he gets the rocket on Jox. Nice catch right there.
There's the heavy armor, eats a rail, but doesn't matter. Loads of armor to work with. Ooh, a little bit of damage from below.
Opts to go for the flick into the quick retreat, not really trying to commit to that one too heavily. I think with that champion advantage, you can really afford to not stick yourself out there too much. Taking an unnecessary rail can be a bit costly at this level.
Once again, Jox, look how stacked up he is, but down on champions, but not even 2 minutes in right now.
Only one champion down, so if he evens things out now, it's going to definitely reset back to that normal situation.
Now, this is something we actually haven't seen a huge amount today, is this Nyx start, this sort of almost back to this tried and true DueL hit and run style. We've seen a lot of clutch first today, a lot of sort of just getting in your face, rushing you down as fast as possible. We saw a little bit of that from Anarchy before, but really seeing this from Nyx, which is something we've seen week in, week out, haven't actually seen it that much today.
It's definitely a strategy that was favored by many of the sort of higher level top Russian players that really favored going with that Nyx pick first.
Nyx picks.
A little bit of a tongue twister right there, but the Nyx pick at the very beginning was a very popular method among those Russian players that were super dominantly, like Cooler in particular, really forefronting that.
Oh, wow.
In week 1, breezed his way through because of it.
Oh,
mid-air.
big rocket. Yeah, Jox runs away immediately upon taking that much damage.
Doesn't quite manage to beat him towards the mega health. I mean, I respect the attempt. If he got that mega health, he definitely would have not only stole it, but would have got the frag on Jox there.
But now, though, Karwik opting to go for a Ranger instead of the Scale Bearer second pick. I think he kind of prefers that match. Oh.
Yeah, they're trading super shotgun, sorry, the super nail gun for lightning gun. It's not going to be the easiest thing to match with.
There's those loud footsteps of Scale Bearer.
That's the footsteps of a galactic warlord.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Charge.
charge goes through, so only does 40 damage.
Oh, manages to dodge that one. No damage taken, really, trying to get the heavy.
Always drop down onto some LG, but he's got the health to take it. No armor, though. Wow, he actually is quite low.
Oh,
nice,
wonderful
wonderful play.
1-1. Very calculated game so far.
Okay. That was a good play, though. I mean,
Yes.
he knew he was going towards the teleport and was just ready with that rail.
Big part of playing on Blood Run, really. It's been a strategy that has existed for many, many years.
But, like, instantly, both heavy and mega health already gone.
Karwik is still pretty weak, though. Even after that. Here we
Oh.
go. He's not ready. Hasn't seen it. And that's it. That should be a free frag. But no, doesn't get the damage he needs. It's the escape. Completely uncontested rocket, but just couldn't do enough damage to make
Karwik
it count.
just simply had enough stack just to cleanly survive that almost max damage rocket. Speaking of which, though, mega health. Ooh, big hit, but he still manages to pick it up.
No armor, though. One little bit now, but...
Oh. I mean, they're both just running around, just trying to get that quick, almost like pokey damage.
I feel like this lineup is actually much more of a traditional week 1 lineup with the Scale Bearer and Nyx. Ranger, but you've got Nyx first as well.
Karwik losing a massive amount of health though. Jock's gonna try and seek him out. I think so. Oh, didn't quite see him. Mega health. Didn't get that important thing. Heavy armor almost to follow. Ghostwalk immediately. They're on top, but there's no way he saw him, but catching the mid-air, knocking him safely out of danger right there. He needed to take 100 damage. Oh, now he knows he's around there. Hasn't gonna have Ghostwalk here. But he has to be careful. If he goes around the corner into a rocket, he's going to get taken down. Maybe like this. Oh! Yes, he will. Unfortunately, he messes up the lightning gun, and Karwik seizes back the frag.
I think that's because Karwik was exceptionally weak there. It really could have been anyone's life, but Karwik just playing a little bit better right there.
Wow, that was great. Picks up the mega health and immediately ghost walks. Doesn't want anything to do with that damage.
Dodges the rail. Important to not take any damage when you're through there. Double jump really does allow her, and that's another big thing on this map for Nyx, is that she can go for that heavy armor while taking no damage. She hasn't got to rocket jump. She hasn't got to be up top for that circle jump. She's up there. She gets it. That's it.
Oh, sneaky. Jox is waiting with the rail.
But he's lying in wait for the teleporter as well. Karwik doesn't manage to do any damage. Here comes Jox. Super shotgun as well. Does manage to steal it.
Yeah, Karwik missed a couple of shots there that really would have secured the frag, and Jox is going to make him pay dearly. Nice super shotgun seems to be a good, almost like option in that sort of close range. We don't get to see it too often, but when we do, it makes a big difference.
Couple of missed rails. Unfortunately, allowing Karwik to survive. If he caught those rails right there before Mega spawned, Karwik would have died.
Now back into the same situation again, all approaching 3 minutes.
It's very much a complete mirror of what we're seeing so far.
A little bit of damage, but not quite enough. There's just a lot of defense going on right now. And I'm not really sure how else to really put that.
It just comes down to the fact that when they're in a situation they deem as unfavorable, they just don't extend at all. They make sure that...
But it makes sense. You know,
oh, yeah.
This is very much make or break. It all comes down to this for these guys. And if they overextend it, we've already seen how punishing one minute it can be.
Nice.
108 damage.
That was a really nice combo, but
look at how weak!
Oh, he is so weak.
I mean, here's Ranger. He's going to top himself up quickly. Unless Jox can find him now.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. Jox got a lot of his frags in the first round that way with those predictions on the teleporters, and Karwik keeps falling prey to it every time. Jox is positioning himself perfectly for that.
With the 1 minute warning. Misses the rail. Yeah, staying crouched, remaining hard to hit. Does not want to eat a rail with this time left. This is definitely Jox's round.
45 seconds. If Jox can lame it out for this long, he will be able to take it down. Karwik has no choice but to get this frag, but Jox is still trying to take some damage off of him.
Gone round. Is he going to take the risk?
Does he want it? This could be risky.
He's on 35. He manages to get it, but Karwik a little bit too late.
All right, took a little bit of damage, but was able to secure the heavy.
It is going to take Scalebearer quite a while to get back up there.
I mean, heavy's not going to spawn for the rest of this round. Jox has taken that big sustainability away from Karwik. This might be the round if he can survive.
He's running right into him. He goes in for the mega.
Oh, that was so close.
He ran out into the open.
He had to survive for 4 more seconds. I'm not quite sure why Jox took that fight. I genuinely thought he was going to go for the dire orb. I thought he was going to stick to the wall. I thought he was going to throw the dire orb up top, and he was going to lame it out for 4 seconds. Gave Karwik the opening. And now it's a sudden death. Round's going to be decided on this. But Jox is quite low. Look at this health and armor. And there Mega goes. That is tank indeed, is one way to sum up Scalebearer with a Mega health.
And with the super nail gun, I'm not even sure he has the rail.
We'll see him below. Oh, the charge. Oh, the dash to avoid the dash.
I'll match yours with my own. And he uses it just to get out of danger.
This is just round 3. Round 3 of map 1. But luckily that low cooldown on that bull rush, he's going to have it up again soon. Because they basically traded the ability for the ability. They're both going to have it about the same time. Oh, that does connect. Plenty of armor to sponge it up though.
You can see the passiveness though. I mean, they're poking each other down, but neither wants to go in too heavily.
Oh, there it is.
They're just
Ring
running
around the
around
rosy.
each other. Oh
no, he gets baited. Oh, but all this health. Karwik is taking so much damage, but is in no danger.
How did nothing come from that?
I mean, they literally ran in circles.
Here they go, the LG fight. He's trying to get out of there, but he can't quite get away. He is weak, but he's away. They're both so weak. Neither wants to overcommit. They're right next to each other. They're going in, the reaction. The mid-air seals the deal.
And there we go, round 3 complete, 2-1, just like that. I mean, sudden death. In all fairness, that sudden death shouldn't have even happened. That should have been a timeout victory, but a little bit of overcommitting until the final minute.
Fight.
The final second, I should say, to be a bit more accurate.
Well, I believe it was actually Jox who didn't go in for his Dire Orb, right? In the chaos of the moment, I forgot who missed the sudden death, unfortunately.
Still, though,
it was definitely a situation that shouldn't have happened.
we are starting afresh at the very least.
Yeah, but there was so much cover there. With 4 seconds left on the clock, he could have safely gone for that Dire Orb, called it. There was no way Scalebearer was going to be able to keep up with him and chase him up there.
Oh. You can hear the Dire Orb's been used. Jock's not going to have that for a little while up. Mega Health is here, so we can't safely secure it. Let's not forget, if Ranger doesn't have his Dire Orb when those Mega Health or Heavy Armor power-ups spawn, then it's a lot harder for him to secure them. And also safely get away if he chooses to go for it. That's mainly what you use it for, just to add safety to what is quite an unsafe map to go for these crucial power-ups. Oh, a big fight spawning here, Ghost Walk. He's using aggressively.
Can't quite catch him on the bridge, but the Prediction Rocket, lovely placement, 82 damage. He will take that all day. Just got him down the bottom. Going in for the fight, he's going to commit.
Oh, and there we go.
Yeah, it doesn't quite manage to teleport towards his Dire Orb, and because of it, gets absolutely destroyed. Now Jox has gone in for that Scalebearer, and not without.
That is one of those best-case scenarios. Karwik, not only did he take the frag, but you also got Mega Health and Heavy Armor in the process. Secured everything you can need to secure just to get that momentum started. And now Jox is on the Scalebearer. Oh, aggressive.
He's on the run.
One damage.
That is how much damage he reduces.
Again, the Mega Health. But Jox, because he had to use his Bull Rush there to try and get away from the assassination attempt, didn't quite have it.
If Karwik can seal a frag again, 2 in a row, the pressure really is going to be on. This back and forth game of playing quite calculated is not really something Jox is going to be able to do. He's going to have to be the one that presses the advantage because he has no other choice, but that's only if he loses this next champion.
Oh wow, and Jox just throwing a rocket up there just to be sure. Easily secured Mega Health for Jox. Can hear he's nearby. Oh, Heavy Armor, Ghost Walk just to not take any damage, and he's getting away again.
Just slipping out of there, making sure Jox doesn't get it. If Scalebearer gets access to that Heavy Armor in this situation, then he is very difficult to take out when you yourself have a maximum of 75 health.
Well,
and
also
50 armor.
Karwik, you know, he is Nyx. He is going to need as much armor as possible to not get completely crushed by that Bull Rush.
Definitely. I mean, a max charged Bull Rush does far and beyond what her max health is. Oh! Going for the shot downwards.
She wasn't quite ready for it.
Yep, Karwik must have expected Jox to be on the bottom rather than up by that ledge, but they do trade rail for rail, and actually Jox is the one that can't afford to take much more. Going in for the OG, that's going to be it. Can't quite soak it up, but because he loses the damage reduction after the charge connected, that's it. And now he's down to Nyx.
That's actually something we've seen. I'm not saying that's what happened there, but we've actually seen that a few times where players will opt to, when they know they have a big health lead over a Scalebearer who they think is likely to try and go for a defensive Bull Rush just to get some damage on the table, they will purposefully walk at the Scalebearer to make the Bull Rush connect at like the lowest speed so it does the lowest amount of damage.
I mean, yeah, the damage of a close-range Bull Rush compared to a rocket, it's still one that you'd happily take.
All the aggressive Ghost Walk used. Oh, no, just decides not to.
Oh, that was a lovely shot, and because of it, he's going to go up one map.
That was really well played, though. I mean, Jox, he had a I think a few opportunities to take a fight, but because the fight wasn't 100% guaranteed to result in like a safe kill, he opted not to go for it a few times, which worked out earlier on. But I think as quickly as Karwik was able to sort of like adapt and get a little bit more damage on the table and get a little bit more aggressive, he started to really inch ahead in that map, and that lead would sort of gradually just improve and improve and improve and improve to the point that it was actually a very stable map. It took a while to get there, but ultimately he has found the groove, I think.
Well, realistically, I think it just came down to the fact that it was Karwik had a complete mirror of each other's teams. I feel like Karwik just played that team more effectively. I think the way he approached the map, the way he managed his abilities, the way he chose to take fights when he knew he could get them, he was just a bit more on the ball across all of those different areas. The big one was when it was Nyx versus Nyx. Karwik would never be surprised and assassinated by the Ghost Walk from Jox, but Jox would consistently get ambushed by Karwik in the exact same scenario. So I think that came down to making sure Karwik, he used it when he knew it would be effective, and Jox didn't have the tools available to counteract it. Whereas on the flip side, he made sure that that never happened to him because he had his utility available in that Ghost Walk.
Okay, guys, though, just for the final reminder today, make sure to join the discussion on Twitter, #Quake, #QWC. Let us know what you think. We have potentially one map left to go. If we see Karwik take a second map back-to-back, who you think is going to win? How happy are you to see some of the people that have already qualified make it? Let's not forget, just today alone, we've had players like Zoot, like Evil, that have already managed to finally qualify after weeks of trying.
Let's list once again. So it was Zoot, Chronic, Evil, Luke, i.e. Luminous, Cephas, Proximo, and whoever wins out of this. So the final group of players, I think, is a very respectable list of players that have put in a lot of effort, and they've finally been able to sort of...
A fine addition to those that have already done so.
They've climbed that hurdle. But what really excites me is the regionals, because it's going to be the absolute cream of the crop, like the best players in this region coming together to find out among the best who is even better than the best, to go all the way to QuakeCon, representing this whole part of the world, and see if, you know, we can take it home. It's going to be really interesting to see.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing the return of Sacrifice too.
Oh, me too.
I'm starting to miss it.
I miss it already. I really miss Sacrifice. It's fast-paced. It's fun to keep up with. So much goes on.
It adds an interesting dynamic, I think, because DueL is very entertaining for like how calculated it is and how mind game heavy it is, and just how mechanically sound you have to be to just really outplay someone in a duel 1v1. Whereas Sacrifice, it's chaotic, it's fast-paced, it's team, right? And it's team versus team, and I've always enjoyed that. And I think Quake has always done that very well. And Sacrifice is just a very new take on a team game mode in general. But Blood Covenant could be our final map.
So we'll see if the team comp stays the way it will. I don't expect to see a Scale Bearer on Blood Covenant, but we'll see. No, he has gone in for it. So clearly.
We actually used to see this quite often, though, Scale Bearer on Blood Covenant.
I think it's because what we were talking about earlier on, where like if people go for a big body on this map, these days they generally tend to go with Clutch. Whereas Karwik in particular, he might just really like Scale Bearer. And that's the thing about the champions in this game, is that we've had conversations about, I feel like, you know, this champion may be getting slightly phased out by this champion in terms of like how consistently they get picked. But that doesn't mean that champions are straight up never picked. Scale Bearer can still do his job really well. It's just there are other champions that can do his job also. But it can still come down to player preference. Just because Scale Bearer isn't picked as much as Clutch recently in DueL, that doesn't mean that Scale Bearer can't do really well, because he's not been nerfed. He hasn't lost his effectiveness. People are just liking the same tools but used in a different way. So you can still go with Scale Bearer, and clearly Scale Bearer can still get the job done. I think it's quite promising for the game.
But Jox has swapped out his Scale Bearer for Visor, which is a champion we see all the time on Blood Covenant. And just map awareness, right? And I think he plays quite well on the Blood Covenant, because there's a lot of open spaces, a lot of open corridors. Visor with a rail, and it's quite easy to secure a rail on Blood Covenant. So I think overall, it's just probably going to work out quite well for him. And obviously, his Scale Bearer didn't quite look as confident as Karwik's before. And obviously, this was his pick, so Jox chose this map.
In the end game chat as well, he wasted no time. Like, the second he lost, he mentioned exactly what map he wanted. So clearly, this is the map he likes. Once again, guys, this could be our final map. Winner of this, well, if Karwik wins, he makes regionals. If Jox loses or wins, he's going to make it 1-1 if he wins it. But if he loses, that's it. It's all over. So the pressure is on.
We've seen a healthy mixture of 2-0s and 2-1s today. Last round, last champion, last map. We've had it all. How are we going to end? How are we going to finish this 4 weeks of European duel qualifications? It all comes down to this final match.
Karwik has had a very traditional playstyle, one that we're also familiar with. He has once again gone Nyx first. Nyx first on Blood Covenant. One of the most dangerous champions you can start with by far. She's got the mobility. She's got the early kill potential. She's got the hard to kill early potential.
Trying to watch off that railgun though. Trying to get himself. There we go. That's some ammo to the count.
Already
All he's missing the LG. Oh, good shot. Karwik one away from dying.
Nice check there on the rocket just to get him out of it. Unfortunately, he teleports straight into danger. Karwik sealing that first frag quite effectively.
Taking him down to Visor now though. Visor into Nyx. We see this quite often. Piercing sight, chasing down that ghost walk can be crucial.
Jox already straight into Visor.
Always used the piercing sight, we can hear it.
But again, he's used it to find him, but this means that Karwik is going to be able to get away unchallenged.
I was about to say, surely he won't follow him down through the teleporter. Oh wow, and there's that follow-up. Just a second before the Mega Health spawned.
Now he's caught the Nyx on spawn. She's going to have Ghost Walk, but...
As is that final champion though for Jox. He has to make this comeback. Has 3.5 minutes to do it. It's just going to be difficult.
Especially against Nyx with Ghost Walk. So now Karwik can once again just play very passively if he wants to. If he gets caught in a bad spot, he's got the Ghost Walk, he uses it already just to make sure he doesn't take any unnecessary damage. Although it's down for quite a while, plenty of hourglasses on this map. And the hourglasses tend to be in routes that players are extremely likely to navigate towards, you know? As you retreat between fights, like right now, you're just naturally going to come across these hourglasses, and before you know it, you're going to have it straight back.
3-minute mark, fast approaching. Oh,
yeah, that rocket jump just to get him out of harm's way. I think he'd rather take his own self-damage and be where he wants to be rather than just getting rained down on the top.
Oh, wow, all the way up. 80 damage too, that was chunky.
That was a painful one. If he uses that teleporter, he's going to be done. Oh, wow. And if he uses the jump pad, he's going to be done. That's one round already. Karwik off to a good start.
Yeah, Karwik is looking good. Jox, unfortunately, constantly on the back foot there. I mean, this is definitely a game of momentum, but the team that Karwik has, I mean, starting off with just Nyx, once again, not being knocked off it yet.
Round 2, fight.
Very much a repeat of what we saw last time so far.
Unfortunately, actually, because Karwik didn't quite get his wall jump, he might not be able to get the rail here.
Nope, he's going to invest some health into a rocket jump.
Opting to take the trade, and really good invisibility, but he's got the rail now. Jox has to be careful.
That definitely could have been death, but Jox wasn't quite accurate enough. You can tell Karwik really wants to go for this mega health blast. Be careful. Or maybe not. They could just keep off heavy armor. No, opting to go back. Maybe he's just trying to get sight on him. Oh, wow. Narrowly missing shot for shot.
I think he really expected to get hit by that rail there. That's why he went for the preemptive Ghost Walk.
5 seconds. Oh, he's getting shot at. Needs to be careful for a few seconds before this mega health spawns. At the same time, Jox has just had some serious damage himself and is opting to run away.
I think going towards that
heavy armor.
Going towards that heavy armor was almost like a plan B. The second he took that rail, he realized he didn't have the health to try and challenge it. Oh, he laid his ambush, but was a bit slow on the uptake.
Oh. Wow. Wall jumps up to stop him from jumping up fully.
That was a disgusting play. It didn't quite work out, but the intention there, where he went in for the jump pad and immediately used the wall jump to stop his jump pad momentum, making the rail miss. That was really well played. Unfortunately, he died anyway, but... Jox looking to take this momentum, keep it going. These are very important rounds that he can get on the board. This was his map.
Oh, wow, instant dire orb. It's going to work out. Goes to the LGs, he's going to finish him off. Has to be careful following him.
Oh, he gets at the last minute with 3 HP remaining.
That was really well played by Jox. Just complete prediction of how he was going to go back into the fight.
Oh, that
One
was
health.
That was quite risky to turn around there. The armor, it may as well not exist if he was on 1, but he has been able to get 25. It's a start.
Oh no, misses the railgun.
He has indeed.
Again, we're going towards the later stages of the round. I mean, you can tell they just really, really don't want to overcommit to anything here. Oh, behind him, Karwik has him. Oh, the bull rush doesn't connect at all. It's going to be a while before that's back again. 30 seconds when you have 2 minutes left to make this round. It seems a bit longer than usual.
Absolutely. This is only round 2. This is how slowed down the game has been put down to. These guys
Very much
are
reminding
really...
me of the first map.
Oh yeah, for sure. But unfortunately for Karwik, as each second goes down now, the pressure really is on for him to start getting something to happen. Again, very much like the first map we saw. Scale Bearer, he's got the health to survive fights. He can rotate from one point to another quite effectively, but
ultimately it's quite hard to chase down Dire Orb, Ranger with Scale Bearer.
Exactly. I think that's going to be quite a disadvantaged situation here, where if Ranger decides to go for a Dire Orb from one part of the map to another, it's going to take Scale Bearer quite a while to chase him. And right there,
wow, that
the
was
juke,
smart.
Really well played. And it's just going to be ever so much harder, especially now he's got the heavy armor.
But it wasn't Duke into sort of committing to the fight. It was Duke into, right, you know, 1 minute warning. We'll get, oh, Karwik. Unfortunately, blowing himself up.
I feel like that was...
wow. Jox with a sweet thank you in chat.
I feel like it was to end the round on his own terms. It kind of looked deliberate to me.
Maybe he went for a jump, but regardless, you know, you can't be throwing rounds away potentially. But I think Jox at that situation maybe just wanted to, or Karwik I should say, maybe just conceded and was like, right, this round's done, just move on to the next one. Let's not waste any more time.
Almost like a surrender of sorts, just reset it, go right, let's start again. Already hit by a rail, lost all of his armor. Plenty of health left, but heavy armor still left to take, actually. There you go,
Karwik just able to get it.
That does mean that there is likely to be a fight, almost in rotation, because they will not spawn at the same time with the mega health and heavy armor. Wow, surprised again, and Karwik. Just that typical Nyx assassination. One of the strongest ways to annihilate someone in this game.
Do believe Jox is just up his piercing sight. So he's going to have a rough idea where he is now, but again, Ghost Walk isn't up for quite some time either. Oh, misses the rail.
Using his rocket jump to try and seize the rail, misses the shot, and he's allowed him to pick up the heavy. This is not a good situation. Visor can't do anything to escape that.
That really is Visor's weakness, though. Once a fight is being committed onto him, not as good of an ability to escape it. Speaking of which, though, Jox now on Nyx himself, so going to have a little bit of a better defensive capability, but less health to work with. Oh, there's the Ghost Walk.
Karwik going in with his invisibility as a direct answer, making sure he is not going to be at any risk. And it goes back to what we talked about, where Karwik makes sure that what he is doing with Nyx does not get done to him in return. Jox has been unable to ambush him this entire series.
But this is another one of those sort of same champion matchups where it all comes down to who uses their ability first. You know, we saw Jox opt to go for an aggressive Ghost Walk, and right as he was about to come out of it, Karwik went for his. And then, you know, as he assumed, Jox came out of the Ghost Walk right in front of him, and then Karwik had the option to get the jump on him instead.
Jox is hurting. That one rail, even that one rail, is going to be enough to put him in a bad spot. Make that 2. He would have seen him go invisible, but...
Oh no, Jox hung around.
Karwik making that detour just to get some of that health back.
Yeah, Jox hitting that defensive rail was crucial for keeping him alive, otherwise Karwik would have surely chased him. Oh, distance! They missed the rail on each other. Oh, Karwik!
Crispy shot.
Narrowly avoids death and gets that return kill on Jox and brings himself to match point round. One more round to go potentially. If Karwik is able to take this, he will move on to the regionals, and Jox desperately needs to get this back.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The pressure is on Jox right now. There are 2 rounds for him riding on whether he's going to make it to regionals or not. And he needs to. He needs to just tie it up, let alone play the next map. He needs to tie things up.
To get to this point alone, he had to win a ton of games, you know, and this is the final hurdle before regionals. Oh, a lot of damage coming out. Karwik has his railgun now, though. That's definitely been sort of his star weapon.
They didn't see him use it. He went way too high up in the air. And now Jox is so weak, misses the rail. He himself is still incredibly vulnerable to rails at 75 HP. They're both got to be so careful here. Jox especially, because it's more than just a rail that can take him out at that health, even with the health he just picked up. But he should undo that with the heavy armor, because they're going to trade it out again.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
more
Big damage.
Oh, that would have been a decisive rail, but doesn't quite hit the mark.
He's going to wait for the time, and then he's probably going to use it himself. No, that was just a good read. He was confident Jox wasn't going to try and fight. He was going to run away, so he knew he could just keep it.
He's going to let his mega health up.
Oh, he didn't know he was there to the left. If only he looked there for an extra half second, he would have seen him.
There we go, Jox finally able to get the jump on Karwik and makes it count with an instant frag.
Missing the rail. That might be quite costly. Now he's in danger. Karwik, in fact, did teleport to it. Jox now has heard it, but...
Uh-oh. Oh, all those pickups were very noisy. Karwik knows where he is now.
Oh! Manages to tie things up 1-1 again.
Karwik, though, very low on life. If Jox can
Definitely.
find him early, he can definitely get this return frag, but...
If he can get this fight before he gets the Mega, but I think it's more likely he's going to try and get heavy armor again, which he does manage to do, which is going to allow Karwik to get way overstacked, and he's going to get a little bit of armor for his troubles as well.
as long as the trades can keep going like that.
Stuck in a bad situation. Was safely knocked away, though. Here comes Karwik.
Oh,
It's 1. Minimal
just
damage.
starting to add up.
He is stuck in a bad spot. Going in for the die roll behind. I don't think it's going to be enough. And he gets the 100 damage rocket. Exactly what he needed. And now Jox is down to his final champion. It's going to be Visor. Got to make this Visor comeback. Catches
Oh,
him
no,
mid-air.
he missed the mid-air.
He tried to beat him to the mega health, but it just didn't work out. And now he's going in for the chase with the LG, chasing it further. Can he get it? He is still so weak to one more rail. He has to be so careful.
No, he's committing to it. He wants the frag. He's chasing it, and he gets the kill. Karwik, with 9 health, is able to survive. And there we go, Jox, after an entire series of a lot of passiveness, decides to just all in and rush down as much as possible, and came so